That good chip. That good chip. That you spit. That music.
Today we're here with Mrs. Sturdivant, and she's going to inform us a little bit about some upcoming testing.
Okay, well, first of all, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the EOC test and what they are. Yesterday I was talking to a student, and I think sometimes we just assume that everybody understands what EOC testing is. So EOC stands for End of Course Test, and the student was asking me if they had to do that plus STAR. At the high school level, your STAR test is called an End of Course Test. It's the same basic concept, but at the high school you actually take a test based on what courses you're in. So to graduate from high school, you have to take an English 1, English 2, Algebra, Biology, and U.S. History End of Course test. So for freshmen this year, most of you will take End of Course for English 1, possibly Algebra, and possibly Biology. And then for sophomores, you take English 2, and then as juniors, you take U.S. History. Of course, if you don't pass it, then you retest and keep taking it until you do pass it. So we're going to talk about basically English 1 and English 2 because they're the first tests coming up. So English 1 EOC is going to be on Tuesday, April 9th, and English 2 is going to be on Thursday, April 11th. So you've been preparing in your classes, and I know your teachers have done a lot to get you ready for the test. Right before the test, we're going to have a review rally for anybody that's testing in English 1, and that'll be on Monday, the 8th. And then we'll have another review rally on April 10th for anybody that's doing English 2. We just encourage you to do your best. We know you're prepared. The teachers are prepared. They've been preparing you. And I know the tests aren't the most exciting thing you've ever done, but if you'll take your time and do your best on the test, you won't have to see it again. You'll pass it. If you don't pass the test, then we retest in summer or we retest next year. But our goal is for everybody to pass it the first time. And you're going to hear some commercials and different things this week on Focus about how to prepare for the test. Those things really do come in handy, and they are important that you go to bed early, that you eat a breakfast. So when you watch those commercials, yes, they're kind of funny, but there is truth in them. So make sure you pay attention to them, and we want everybody to pass their EOC the first time they take it. Thanks.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Today, the BHS Teacher Spotlight shines on Mrs. Bryant. First, a few questions about yourself for the students that don't know you yet. Can you tell us a little bit about your family?
I have been married for 15 years to my wonderful husband, Austin. He is 6'9", that most people are surprised to hear about. He's very, very tall. And I have an adopted daughter, Josie. We adopted her close to 3 years ago now. She's a sophomore at Denton High.
Where did you attend college?
I went to the University of North Texas.
How long have you been teaching at BHS?
This is my 4th year at BHS, and I taught at BES, the elementary school, for 7 years before that. So a lot of the students that I have here at the high school, I taught when y'all were little bitties.
Now tell us, Mrs. Bryant, what do you teach and a little of what's going on in your classroom?
I teach art, and most of my students are working on individualized goals, so they get to choose what they're learning and how they're learning it. But I also have my advanced placement. Art students are preparing their final portfolios for submission.
What are some of the biggest challenges for your students in your classroom?
I think the biggest challenge is keeping track of their own work and staying on task and just keeping on every day and persisting, and learning things on their own and not necessarily directly from me.
What is one thing you hope your students will learn from your classroom?
I hope students learn that if they want to know something, that they can go out and they can learn it. And they just have to go through the process and take their time and work hard.
What is your best memory as a teacher?
I think that all of the Bridgeport ISD art shows. We started the Bridgeport Art Show my 2nd year in the district, along with the other teachers, the other art teachers, and they're just a blast every year.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown. Good morning, BHS. I'm Emily.
And I'm Kylie, and here are your weekly BHS Focus announcements.
Congratulations to our Bulls and Sissy soccer teams for a great season.
Jostens is coming on Tuesday, April 9th during lunches to deliver cap and gowns and graduation orders.
Any current sophomores or juniors interested in being a pal to an intermediate student, come to Mrs. Berry's room for an application.
27 students traveled to Argyle last Wednesday for District UIL academic competition, bringing home several individual and team awards. Students placing high enough to advance to regionals next week in Lubbock include Jacob Ritchie, competing in editorial writing, copy editing, and headline writing; Tony Howerton in copy editing, plus Kyler Hawley, Christian Han, Ivan Almador, and Edgar Rodriguez, all in mathematics and calculator applications. Other students who placed at the district meet include Callie Daniels, Christian Koch, and Jesse Wisnett.
April 8th will be English 1 EOC Prep Boot Camp. The English 1 EOC is April 9th. April 10th is the English EOC Prep Boot Camp, and the English 2 EOC will be April 11th.
Now here is Tate with your VHS Focus Extended Weather Report.
Thank you, Emily and Kylie. There is a chance of thunderstorms this weekend with temperatures in the low 70s on Saturday and highs in the 80s on Sunday. Next week we should see a lot of sunshine with temperatures reaching the high 80s by midweek. Thank you, and that's our BHS Focus Extended Weather Forecast.
Now here is your BHSCC softball update.
We fell short against Crum and Argyle, but we were sitting fourth through the first half of district.
Myself, Ashley Marshall, Cheyenne Wyrick, Hannah Musser, and Jillian Hager all reached bases on hits in the 2 games.
Myself, Trinity Scheidecker, and Cheyenne Wyrick also had a good eye at the plate and reached the bases on a walk. Ashley Marshall led the way with 2 hits.
We start the second half of district this Friday in Bridgeport versus Decatur.
Please come out and show your support of Bridgeport softball.
Yeah.